Drake here.
And Bone.
It's Drake and Bone. This is 2 hoodies, 3 cats, and man, we've packed it in tonight. We've recorded a bunch of stuff this evening, and
I'm taking over next time.
I like it. You take over next time. Just make sure that you get some of our stuff that I'll have a couple things from the checklist that we got to do, but this is one that I talked about before, and I really just because I want you to see this dueling guitar solos in the middle of this song. It's a live track from and I misspoke on an earlier Megadeth video we did where we were talking about Marty Friedman, and Marty, he asked me what albums he was on. He was on he started on
second album?
No. He started Rust in Peace was his first album, wasn't it?
Okay.
How's it go? It goes Killing Is My Business, Peace Sells, So Far So Good So What, and Rust in Peace. Those are the first 4 albums. And So Far So Good So What is not Marty. And Marty is Rust in Peace, Symphony of Destruction, Euthanasia, Cryptic Writings, and an album called Risk, which is where Dave and Marty kind of went. Dave was like, all right, we're done. Because there's a lot of strange stuff on that album. And I think I said She-Wolf was on Cryptic Writings, but I think it's on Risk. But it's on one of those two. But anyway.
And where's Marty now? He's living in Japan doing some game shows, right?
Yeah, Marty's in Japan. But this right here, this is a live track of a song called She-Wolf.
With Marty.
I think this is after Marty is gone.
Okay.
It's a guitarist that came in after Marty.
It's a different McFly.
But this is some just wonderful guitar work.
All right, I really want it to be.
All right, here we go. It's not, but that guitarist right there looked totally like Steve Vai.
Is that Ellison on the bass?
Yeah. I don't think it's Nick. I don't think it might be Nick Menza on the drums still. He might have still been in the band.
Well, they're really tight. I mean, it sounds really great.
Yeah.
What year was this? Because it looks pretty young, man. It can't.
Early 2000s, somewhere like 2004, 2005-ish, 6 maybe.
They sound pretty tight.
2004. Oh no, 97.
This performance of the song was written.
This performance, I don't know. Hang on. (2011).
See, that's got, to me, that has purpose. That's got feel. It's got soul, what he's doing right there. I've never heard Dave play like that.
Oh, you haven't?
I've never heard him. Like, that's almost a throwback kind of. That was tight.
Oh, you haven't seen anything yet. Let me back that up to where this whole deal right here starts. Because this is this is epic right here. This is cool. Oh, they're about to go
back it up to the beginning of him. Man, that was like like taking a little bit a page out of Jimmy Page's book. There, that was like almost like a song remains the same kind of a vibe to it.
These two are about to go like total like dueling here.
Yeah. I'm gonna hold on to my hat here. Okay, stop it. That made my scalp hurt, dude.
What?
That made my scalp hurt. Just back it up just a little bit. My head, like my brains felt like they were just trying to push out of my skull a little bit. That's what I'm talking about. It's almost like the other video was like somebody took the music and then they decided to solo over and act like it was really devastating.
Yeah, because
the other guy playing.
Yeah. And you're like,
I'm like, where's the beef?
Yeah,
there's like the old lady with the buns. Like, where's the beef, Dave?
Right there.
There it is.
There it is. Had you? So you hadn't seen him really unload like that, have you?
No, like I tried to listen to his stuff, and like I said, I have massive respect for Dave Mustaine.
Yeah.
I just couldn't get into it.
Yeah.
And it's like I think I've matured. I hope I have.
Yeah.
And so I can, I like that. That's very nice.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's very impressive that they're both like they're not looking at each other.
They're just doing their thing.
Like, is that from the song, or is this some kind of scripted thing that they did?
That's part of the song, but they kind of drag it out.
It's impressive. They're just like, oh, I'm looking this way. Oh, I'm gonna look this way.
Oh,
we're gonna play the same shit, but it's really different octaves. But sometimes it's gonna match, sometimes it's gonna go out. It's like
it's pretty
impressive.
badass.
And the other guy's like, oh, I don't even need fret markers either. I don't need those.
Yeah, it's a fretless guitar.
Who needs fret markers? Who needs inlays? We don't need inlays. It's a black neck with at night. Who needs that stuff? Right here. Here it is. Here's the E.
I don't even need to see.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, and the drummer getting in there. Is that like a really little drummer?
Yeah, if it's Nick, and I think it's Nick Menza, he's not a big guy. If that is Nick, he wrote Hangar 18.
On guitar?
No, he wrote the lyrics for Hangar 18.
Oh, okay.
And I'm pretty sure that's Nick Menza.
It sounded like a motorcycle for a second there. Is that like a closing number?
I guess so. Now you got me all wondering if that is Marty. So this is the
No, I don't think that's Marty Friedman.
2011 live.
You mean Nick Menza or Marty Friedman?
She-Wolf.
Doesn't say in the
lineup. No, it doesn't.
But that drum, like that snare drum, looks massive in front of that dude. But that's pretty impressive. So the name of the song is She Wolf, or it's Rude Awakening?
It's it was a mashup of the song started out being She Wolf.
Oh, okay. He did have fret markers, by the way, just didn't have inlays. Well, I feel like we should have the elevator music here for the quiet time. Elevator go up, elevator go down. Look, these day and age, whenever you need to find out something out, you just Google it, because everybody's got a Google, right?
Oh, so he left in 2000, so that's not Marty. I don't
think it would be. I don't think I know what he looks like.
Yeah, I don't know who that guitarist is, but that was that whole thing is pretty intense.
Yeah. So nobody in the band is with Dave now except for Dave? I mean, I hope Dave's with himself.
There's no...
Ellefson's not there.
Oh, no. Ellefson is gone and is never coming back.
Oh, you never seen him.
No, that was Dave.
Okay.
We'll talk.
I'd love to see...
I don't think Ellefson has a lot of net positive...
Kerry King playing with them.
Kerry King has a
Dave Lombardo
solo project going on.
Just imagine if Dave Mustaine hooked up with Slayer. They just read all new stuff. And then Dave Mustaine hooked up with Metallica.
I'd rather see Hanneman and Dave instead of Kerry.
I got it. This is what we'll do. We'll take Kirk Hanneman. Is that his name?
David Hanneman.
Kirk Hammett. Jeff Hanneman. Kirk Hammett.
Yeah.
We'll trade him to Slayer. Okay?
Kirk Hammett?
Yeah, Kirk Hammett. No, sorry. Who's the kid that likes monsters in Metallica? Yeah, Kirk Hammett. We're going to trade Kirk Hammett to Slayer, and then we're going to take Dave Mustaine and just squeeze him into Metallica.
Yeah, I like Kirk Hammett. I like him a lot.
I like him too.
But
they need him in Slayer.
But
they need him.
Okay, you guys are going to get mad at me. Some of you are. And I'm going to get flack for this in the comments. But what I'm about to say is true. And you can disagree with me, and that's fine. Everybody has their opinion. They had to change the solos on Phantom Lord. Is it Phantom Lord? Is that the song? I think it's Phantom Lord off of the first album. Off Kill 'Em All, because there was like 4 tracks that he brought over from his other band, and one of the songs he had said I'm taking with me, but they ended up keeping it, and he ended up only taking Mechanics with him, and they changed the lyrics to be Four Horsemen. But in the anniversary deal where there, whatever anniversary it was for Metallica in LA, they did a bunch of live footage, and they had all the past members of the band come and play that were obviously still alive. So like Rob McGovney, Dave Mustaine, Jason Newsted. And
yeah, I saw that.
But Dave comes out, and they have him play lead and start. I want to say it was Phantom Lord. I think that's the song it was. And he just comes out, and he's ripping the solo, and Kirk's just in the background playing. But there were a couple tracks, and I've watched interviews where they had to actually change the solos because Kirk couldn't get them down at the beginning.
Well, I imagine it to be a rough thing. Not everybody can be Dave Mustaine, but have you seen the interview with Dave on Rogan? He talks about how they kept some of the solos because Dave talks about it. He wasn't pleased, which I can imagine.
Well,
I can't imagine Metallica without those songs, but I could also understand being upset over the way things went down. But it doesn't change the fact that Slayer needs somebody. They lost a core member in Jeff Hanneman, arguably, in my opinion, the best soloist.
They had broken up, and they were talking about doing a show. But there's a video that popped up in my feed that was a Kerry King solo thing that's brand new.
Yeah, look, they could all done just for 1 or 2 albums. Look, Kirk, we love you. Just go play with Slayer for a little bit. Dave, come play with us. Could you imagine if Dave could light a fire under James?
You want Dave to join Metallica?
Yeah.
I don't.
Dual song, like they sing together on each song. They both write their own parts.
I think that you would have
Dave does the solos.
I think you would have a better possibility of having James and Dave do some project together that was not called Metallica and not called Megadeth.
Okay.
Because I don't think that Dave would be willing to be in the same room with Lars.
I think.
No, they're.
We can fire Lars.
There's a
Let's
video.
Fire Lars.
There's a video that came out recently. I don't know if it was BS or not, but it was a live footage of Dave playing at a show, and Lars was at the show with his kid, and he stopped the show and asked them to remove Lars from the
show. No, come on, he would not do that. Dave would not do that. That's tacky. Because look, Lars even was like secretly telling Dave that he loved his stuff and wouldn't tell James.
Lars even said that Peace Sells was his son's favorite album.
Yeah, it's his. He loved it. I've seen interviews where he's talking about it.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm sorry. Rust in Peace came out the year that the Black Album came out.
No. Which song had Hangar 18 on it?
Rust in Peace.
Okay, yeah, that's the one. You're right.
So,
You're right.
And I would tell you that those two.
I saw him on that tour.
That Rust in Peace is probably one of the best thrash albums of all time.
I didn't like a lot of it, but that was a different mindset back then.
It top.
But that Black Album.
Some people would say easily top 10. I say top 5.
What's the Hangar 18 on that album?
Yeah, that album has
and what Holy Wars?
Holy Wars.
Yeah, those that song Holy Wars is probably
Polaris,
top 10 best thrash song
Five
ever.
Magics, Tornado of Souls.
Yeah.
That album that whole entire album is amazing. And everybody that ranks metal at that category album is always in a top 5, top 10 list.
Where are you at on King Diamond?
I wasn't a big Merciful Fate fan, but I liked some of his solo stuff. He's one of those crazy all over the place vocalists.
Yeah, I think that album Abigail is one of the best records of all time. As far as
they had him,
that kind of thing.
He came out and played with Metallica at that anniversary deal.
Oh, really?
Because they had members of Merciful Fate and King Diamond came out for that.
Wow,
it was pretty interesting.
I had a bunch of Merciful Fate on vinyl. I didn't really care for it, but man, some songs off of them, and the whole album of Abigail, even that song Deadly Omens. Wow.
So this turned into a little mini talk about music
podcast
after the She-Wolf. The whole point of that was just to see the guitar solos. I've stayed in a box for a long time, which is why now like checking out Ginger and some of these other bands have been really fun. I checked out a band recently. I posted it. It was that song by that band Venter C, and the song was called Devil's Churn. Did you watch that post?
No.
So it was one that had a female vocalist that looked interesting, so I did a reaction to it. And it only has 2 comments. And it's got a decent amount of views. And one of the comments, this guy's like, I want to thank you so much for reacting to this song and blah, blah, blah. This is, I think it was Daniel from Bam Bam Venter C. So I think one of the members of that band actually saw that, gave me a thumbs up. And
I don't watch the videos because there's sometimes you'll do a video and then you want me to do it later, so I don't watch them because I don't know which one you're going to choose.
That one's got a female doing the kind of mixed vocal style, and I found that I think it's a band that came out of the Ginger camp. Not anybody in that band was in Ginger, but they're doing what Ginger's doing.
Okay.
And there's a couple other bands out there that are doing kind of what Ginger's doing, and that's why somebody told me you needed to react to Nightwish because that's the next progression.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, oh, so this has got to be a band where she's got really high operatic style vocals, and then she's going to go into guttural stuff. And I was like, not prepared for what I heard.
Huh.
And it was not what I was expecting.
So you've heard the album Abigail?
Yeah, I've heard Abigail.
Yeah, too bad.
And then
let us know if you want us to do stuff off of Abigail. If you haven't heard it, we'll do it for you.
Then there's another band out there that a bunch of people in the Ginger camp and other metal bands have been fans have been telling me we should do, and it's a band called Bandmade.
Bandmade?
Bandmade.
Huh.
And it looks like a band of maids, like they're dressed up like maids.
Like maids, like of yore, or at the hotel?
Like they clean your room, maids.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I don't know. I haven't checked any of it out yet, but it's on the list. Anyway, this is going long, but that's all right. You got anything else you want to throw in here?
I thought that was very nice what they did. I approve. I think Dave needs to get a couple of those people back.
Well, that drummer is.
Man, I'd love to see Dave Lombardo.
That drummer is.
He's great. He's great, but nobody does it better than Dave.
He died a couple years.
Oh, ago. I'm sorry to hear that.
That's Nick. He died.
Oh,
He was the rest in peace all the way through that whole era.
Really?
Yeah, he just passed away recently.
That sucks.
Yeah. And him and Dave are permanently split. And the first time was Dave Ellefson had stuff he was doing, and then he came back, and this time it was...
I'd just like to see some of these artists, man, to get to... Because, look, back in the 60s, you had Clapton. Clapton would, like, get into a band to get popular, and then he would leave. I'm going to do something else because I can't take the fame. But there weren't a lot of crossovers.
There were a lot of, like, mashup bands.
There weren't. I mean, there were some that were born, but there wasn't a ton of them. It's like, you never saw, like, two Beatles and a guy from the Rolling Stones. And another, you know what I mean? It was just like there were some things like that when bands ended.
It's like,
but why couldn't some of these guys get together?
Nothing like Hollywood Vampires,
right? You got Alice Cooper, Joe Perry, Johnny Depp. I don't know who the drummer is, but
I don't. Those are the three I know.
And so, but I would just like to see some of these like heavy hitters, like Mustaine, Lombardo. I don't know, Trujillo. Something. And just get out there and just do a couple 5 songs. Call it a different name. Maybe some guys from other guys from Suicidal. Maybe the drummer from Jane's Addiction and the bass player from Jane's Addiction play with, the guys Chad and whoever.
Alice in Chains.
2 guys from the Chili Peppers. I mean, just let's see some crossovers.
Yeah, in the comments below, if you've made it this far into this video and you've watched all the way to this point and you haven't stopped, comment below on what your all-star mashup lineup would be for a side music project. It doesn't have to be thrash musicians. It can be any
even
musicians
if they did stuff
want.
that wasn't necessarily thrash.
But you want to talk about a crazy mashup of musicians. You take it was since we were watching Dave Mustaine for your rhythm guitar, rhythm / some sort of solo, rhythm / vocal, whatever. You're big on Dave Lombardo. You could throw him in there if you want. That drummer from...
I think everyone is big on Dave Lombardo.
Yeah. Then I really like Tom Araya, but on the bass side, it would be interesting to put like Flea.
Yeah.
In that style.
That's what I'm talking about.
That type of musician.
He could do it. He could pull it off.
And then somebody like... you want to find a guitarist that's a little outside that genre too. Another guitarist to bring in outside that genre, which is the one thing I really like about Megadeth and Dave Mustaine is the fact that the guitarists in the early days that he brought in were not technically heavy metal or thrash guitarists. Like we talked about him a little before is Chris Poland, who's later has since... I think he's on the newer album, and he's done some other work with Dave again, and they're still friends, and they do stuff from time to time. But he was more of a classical jazz guitarist that Dave brought in, and that's how Killing the first 2-3 albums had that really kind of different kind of rhythmic jazz feel to it. It wasn't just straight like speed metal thrash. Right. Because you had mentioned a band called Venom before, who is more of just that, like, how fast can we play the guitars? Like, and it was really what it was. And even Overkill at times was like, how fast can we play?
Yeah.
And it's great, but every song, old. Which is what always, why I gravitated to Dave, because the players in the band, everybody wants to give him a hard time about his vocals, and he's not a great singer. He's gotten better over the years.
Yeah.
And for what he's doing, he sounds fine. And do I put him in a top 10 vocalist? Oh, hell no.
Some of his performances, I think, deserve to be in the top 100. That's for sure.
But he's got some. He's a capable vocalist.
Yeah.
And he is the first couple albums. Like, I would like to hear them re-record the Peace Sells album, the vocals on the Peace Sells album, remaster it with him now, redoing the vocals on that album now. There's one song on that album that would never get remade. It's it's the Conjuring. He won't even play it live. In fact, he refuses to do it.
Yeah, I can imagine why.
Oh,
that's right. He said that there's a certain things attributable in that song, and he left a few things out so someone couldn't complete the. Yeah, he talks about that, I think, in.
And he's got to the point where, looking back, he's like, I don't think he regrets it. He's that time of his life is done, and he doesn't want to revisit it.
You should watch the Rogan interview. It's really great.
I should. There was an old interview before the public opinion of Alex Jones went completely in the dump, where Alex had him on for a double interview with him, and they were talking about all this stuff. And Dave is a pretty interesting interview.
Oh, he is. Yeah, he really is. More interesting than a lot of other people.
If you could get he's eccentric and hard to work with.
He has a reputation for that. I've never worked with the guy, so I don't know, but he has the reputation for that.
But I've met him once. I've seen him a ton of times in multiple places over the years, and he's always come across as a pretty humble, legit, reasonable person.
I think he is too. I think it's just sometimes he might be just very particular.
Now, when you're talking about it, that's the other thing. People look at it like. We were watching that warning video earlier where the girls, the TED Techs in Vegas from 2017, and the girls are talking about, we're not doing this for money. We're doing this because we love it. It's our passion, what we want to do. And like you said, if you can make money at the end of the day, that's great. But on the other side of things, Dave is also a businessman. And Dave is...
But he wants people to be professional.
It's his band. He's writing stuff. He's bringing players in. And he's like, this is what I want. If you can't do this, I'll find someone else. And it can be hard to work with, but it's not where you're like some of these bands where a player leaves and another player comes in, and that guy comes in the band and immediately starts contributing to the band and writing stuff. There's like, you look at like different bands like Van Halen, for example. You know that after David Lee Roth left and Sammy Hagar came in, do you know who wrote everything?
I know that they both did.
It was just Eddie and Sam.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Michael and Alex just waited for the info.
Yeah.
And I would say before that, I'm not sure how it worked before that.
Dave had some input.
Dave had lyrical input, obviously, because of the showman side.
I think he had. I think, I don't know as much as Sammy, but he did have a lot of input as far as like wanting certain things.
Right. But you see some bands, like look at Metallica. Jason comes into Metallica after Cliff dies, and he's given almost, they don't want to hear nothing he has to say. Like you even see interviews where like...
Yeah, I know. That's legendary. Everybody knows how they treated him.
Yeah. And that you're sitting here like going, you have one of the... I mean, you're not replacing Cliff Burton.
No, but Jason Newsted is no bass player to sneeze at.
But he comes out of Flotsam and Jetsam, who was okay band. They were a decent band. But he comes in there, and it's like... And Justice for All comes out, and aside from the fact that you can barely hear any bass lines...
No bass. Justice for Jason.
But that album was epic.
It was, for the time. It was.
And I would say that...
It'd be nicer if it had some bass on it.
It's
funny that none of us noticed back then.
So I would say... Master of Puppets is probably the one album that is pure Metallica without Dave. Even though there's a track on there that Dave claims some part in.
Is the Four Horsemen on that album?
No, that's on Kill 'Em All.
Oh, okay.
Master of Puppets is the third album.
And come on.
So like, maybe it was Leper Messiah, but there's a song on that album. It's not Damage Incorporated. I can't remember which song it is that Dave actually claims that he wrote guitar solos or did something on this. And a lot of the stuff on those first 3 albums were all songs that had already been done before they got signed. And they were just because there was different EPs that had come out before they got signed. But so if you look at it, and Kill 'Em All and Ride the Lightning, those 2 albums are heavily influenced by Dave Mustaine, and there's a lot of music involved there. Master of Puppets, when you put Master of Puppets and Ride the Lightning side by side, they're almost mirror images of each other with different song titles, different lyrics. Because they're mastered and mixed. The style of the songs are the same all the way down. Like Fade to Black is the 3rd track, Sanitarium is the 3rd track, For Whom the Bell Tolls, and what is it?
I would say that they're very different sounding records and even different mood.
But if you look at the way that they lay the track list out, those 2 albums, to the number of tracks all the way through, they are very, very similar. Like, and it's we can look at it off camera sometime, but then you go to Injustice for All, and it's completely new style. Like, you could tell it's different because Cliff is gone.
Yeah.
But I'd say that those 2 albums, Master of Puppets and Justice for All, those somewhere in the middle, in between there, somewhere, is what Metallica really was without Dave. Do you follow what I'm saying?
I do follow what you're saying, but I don't know that I fully agree with it, because even though Dave was there and was integral, it's instrumental in the foundation of their style. I think Metallica is uniquely, it's like you took Dave Mustaine out of Megadeth, and it's like they're 2 different. There's like no one ever said Megadeth and Metallica sound alike, even though they're in the same genre.
Never.
So it's like, so
I'm not even saying that.
But I'm saying is that they are different enough, even though they wrote together and worked together as a unit. Like, have you heard any of the songs that Dave was on from Kill 'Em All? Did they sound radically different? Did they sound the same? Just with Dave's parts? I mean, the structure of them, the tempo, the feel.
I've only heard Dave do one song that he did with Metallica.
From that era.
No,
I mean, you heard it. The song you're hearing, not, he wrote it in that era and now he's playing it now. That's totally different.
No, on the first Megadeth album, Killing Is My Business, the song Mechanics, there was no Four Horsemen until Kill 'Em All came out. That song, there's a Mechanics EP with Metallica with Dave and James singing the song
But
together.
They sound different, right?
Yeah, because Mechanics is about a car.
Right.
And the Four Horsemen is about the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse.
Right, and the Four Horsemen, to me, is an epic song. It's like...
Yeah, but musically, it's the same song, except for Mechanics is faster.
We need to... we're going to do a side-by-side comparison, because if you're going to get into this, let's get into it, because I don't want to just be right. I want to find out what the truth is. Yeah. And so, it's an interesting debate.
This has gone almost 40 minutes. I might cut some of this out.
Just throw it up, dude. Just throw it up. Just put
Anyway... If you made it to the end, congratulations, you get the no prize. That was an old comic book thing, the no prize. There was not really a prize.
Maybe we'll give a comic book at the end of the month. No.
So, comment below on all the insanity we just talked about. Your all-star musician lineup. It doesn't matter genre. Give us what it is. If you want to see us do a side-by-side comparison of Mechanics by Megadeth and Four Horsemen by Metallica, and weigh in on the Big Four and what you think of those bands. And most everybody's favorite is Metallica, but I watched somebody rank them in order, and let me know what yours are and who your favorites are between. And if you need to, the Big Four: Metallica, Megadeth, Slayer, Anthrax. Big Four. If you have a different Big Four, let us know what it is.
Your Scott Ian's no slouch either.
I would.
I'm sorry, I'm trying to drag
I would love to see Scott Ian and Dave in a project together, but
there you go.
But it's, yeah. Anyway, those are all conversations.
I think if they were going to it with a certain attitude, we're just trying to create something. Nobody's trying to be the boss. Nobody's trying to say, well, what do you think? Well, we have a disagreement. Let him decide. He picks.
If you put Dave and Scott together, it would be amazing.
Yeah.
That would be amazing. Hey, we're tapping out.
All right, Drake and Bone out.
This went long. Thanks for being here.
Oh, you got to... All right. Sorry. Were you done already?
Peace out.